Today at Future Vista, our session for the afternoon deals with the new age digital outlook of the media industry today. Aptly titled as Digital Disruptive, a new chapter of media professionals. The session promises to be an eye-opener for the budding professionals. Presently, consumption of any kind of media content is ruled by the digital platform. This time, the convergence has also paved way for several career opportunities for the youth in the media sector. Some of the attractive job of professionals or profiles in the sector could be like social media manager, blogger, content curator, content and creative writer, digital strategist, creative director, online communication director, YouTuber, blogger, SEO expert, social media influencer, and more.
We recognize the growing opportunities in various sectors for the youth. We understand that evolving technology is paving way for career paths that didn't exist even a few years ago. Hence, it has been our constant endeavor to enlighten the youth with the emerging career opportunities and also provide them the courses that would get them the required skill for joining the respective industries. Future Vista is also organized with similar aim, that is to provide a comprehensive platform to creative young minds passionate about the digitally disruptive media industry and help them find their passion and attain success through right facts, guidance, and suggestions.
We are happy to announce that the Media Science Department has come up yet again with the second edition of newsletter named the iLEADer. This time, not only the students, but students from other departments has also contributed to the newsletter.
We also have two panelists who will be joining us online. Unmesh Ganguly is a YouTuber, content creator. He runs a channel named Bakura Meme Shorts with 4.5 lakh subscribers.
One more person we have along with us who would join online. He is Shoham Chatterjee. He is currently the Global Associate Creative Director and Writer at WhatsApp. He also teaches at Miami Ad School, San Francisco. Shoham has been named as one of the 30 most creative people in advertising by Business Insider twice.
First, I would like to initiate the discussion with just a bit of change what has happened in the media scenario, especially the academics of media scenario. That is, in the first decade of the new millennium, when we used to learn or we used to be students of journalism and mass communication, very interestingly, no real importance was given on social media. In fact, everything of our study, it was surrounded, or it was centered around reporting, editing, and some kind of advertising, etc. Practically no one focused on social media, and no one really gave it much importance that it can become a mass medium or something of that sort in the first decade. In the following years, what did you find? If we talk about 2016, the year, the first pioneering book kind of on social media, social networking, and etc., was written by Christian Fuchs, named Social Media. Again, if we talk about another statistics of 2017, that was given by pewresearch.org, they had given the statistics that India is the second largest user of Facebook, right? And in America, the largest user of Facebook, more than 50% Facebook accounts were from US. So from this perspective, or this kind of idea that how this field is booming, this new media, what is the newness in it? So let us all understand and learn this from our experts. So what I would like to ask you, that how do you feel, or how do you see that in the age of new media, how the pattern of advertising and allied areas, those have changed? I would like to hear from you, actually.
I think we are at such an age where advertising is in the crossroads with social good. right? And more like sort of like utilitarian campaigns and activations. What I mean by that is like, of course, there is immense amount of social media advertising, right? Like even through WhatsApp Business or even through Facebook and now Meta. But right now, what is really interesting is that what brands are doing, especially like social media brands like TikTok and WhatsApp. I can speak a lot for WhatsApp. Even like Spotify, and I know certain brands we don't consider as social media brands or like more like a music subscription, but all of these brands are actually like connecting people. So they're sort of social media too. What they're doing is basically creating features and opportunities that are helping people and impacting their lives in a certain way, and that's their like foot forward as a brand to connect, and not just do good for the world but to get people closer.
That advertisement is something which is very much related to journalism and especially the new media. What we understood as journalists and even as academicians, that if we talk about a newspaper, it is known as newspaper, but the priority, of course, for the financial sustainability, the priority is always given to the advertisements. So, in that sense, newspaper is to some extent, or probably to a great extent, is dependent on advertisements. So, if we talk about newspaper advertisements or the financial sustainability of newspapers and advertisements together, because they cannot sustain without each other, absolutely made for each other. So, if newspaper and media, new media, how do you think that how do they coexist in this scenario?
So you're talking about advertising and how advertising is important, whether it's for print or whether it's for new media. Unfortunately, the scenario today is that whether it's print or whether it's new media, revenue model is primarily dependent on advertising. What has happened is there are new forms and formats of advertising that have come in digital. So in print, we know that there is only one, there is a print advertising. And now print advertisers, they are also doing events, they are doing special pullouts, supplements, so they get complete separate revenue for just that one supplement, whether it's a Poila Boishak one, or it's a Durga Puja one, or on a 15th of August. So that's the only way. I mean, subscription-based revenue model is not something that is going to sustain newspapers. Unfortunately, advertising industry is moving very, very fast to digital. And if you can see some data in the last 5 years, you would see the decline in advertising market in print and the rise of the advertising market in digital. Even last year, I think the data from 2021 is that today the number one medium of advertising is television. And number two medium is digital. But in the next 2 years, digital is poised to become the number one market share as far as advertising is concerned. So that's the shift that's happening because the audience is shifting. They are spending more and more time on digital platforms. So automatically, advertising moves where audience moves. So currently, you are all looking forward to a career in media, correct? Now you can be looking forward to a career in media which can be based out of a job. So you're looking for a job in media sector. It can be news, it can be PR, it can be advertising, it can be digital marketing, or you can be looking to become an independent content creator, right? Both are there two clear-cut ways on how you want to progress, right? The question is, how do you make your career future-proof? So that the disruption, which is the topic of our discussion today, digital disruption, what is it that is causing the disruption? You have to be aware of that. What is it that's causing the disruption? It's technology. Now think of yourself as an independent content creator or as a professional in any industry in media. You also have to adapt to what is coming. You have to be aware of what is coming. So currently, if you are an independent content creator, you can have your idols, You can have your role models like Arjogni here. But you have to choose your own path in your career. You have to create your own unique identity if you want to be successful as a independent content creator.
When Anjanda was talking about some kind of interactive session, I mean, it's becoming more interactive nowadays. That when you are continuing with your blog, so you have kind of first-hand opportunity to interact with your readers. You get the first-hand feedback from them. So what kind of pulse do you feel from them? That are they really interested or motivated by the content, or what are their needs? What do you feel from them?
If they were not interested or motivated in
of
my
course.
content, why will they watch me or read my stuff, right? So that's your answer. Very simple one.
No, I'm not talking about that actually. That is, how important is the content if we talk from the interactive perspective, how important is the content? Is the form or the content? Which one is more important?
Let me be very honest. That is interaction that you just did. When you laughed at what I said, that's the easiest answer to your interaction. If content is not interactive, it becomes boring after a point. That's why when your teachers drone on about the Battle of Panipat, you fall asleep. Because neither do you know about who Ibrahim Lodi was, nor do you really want to care about what Babur did. But let's just be honest here. You need to know it so that in context you don't repeat that mistake. But well, you know, history always does. Let's talk about what we are looking at interactive media today. If you think YouTube is an interactive media, or Facebook is an interactive media, or Orkut used to be one, I started with something called MySpace. Whenever there are points of talking, somebody will talk about it, even if they don't know about it. Most of the times, that's what happens. And as a content creator, I didn't really create content because I thought that I wanted, well, you know, I started with no wanting validation, but I just wanted to help out. Because at first, that's how it started. It started because somebody was not able to do something, and I said, you know what, I know how to do it, let me just do it. It was to fill in a blank. And even today, any kind of content that you're looking at, be it comedy, sketch, be it interactive, be it drama, be it cooking videos, be it dance workshops, trust me, without audience, it's not going to work. Even if you're the greatest content creator in the whole wide world, if you get cancelled today because something you said in the past, it's a thing. That's why Life of Boris lost 10K followers after Ukraine and Russia went to war. That's why Jeffree Star lost so many followers. Most of you guys know why. Interactive content creation is something that's a content creator's responsibility. How that evolves into advertisement is something that most PR people and digital strategists know, because that's how they want to channelize and strategize in the right direction. And when you see your favorite content creator, be it, now this is where I'm going to say this out loud, content creator can happen on different platforms. So you can also consider celebrities to be celebrity content creator. When you see that person endorsing something that you feel iffy about, if he makes you determine that, oh, you know what, this is not bad, he said so, then that means you are getting influenced by that person, no matter who that is. That's an influencer right there. So I used to write content creator, social media strategist on my timeline. I realized nobody was giving me patta. So I wrote influencer and 10 people gave me patta. I was like, okay, I'm good with this. That's a new thing, right? When you are reading someone's stuff, when you're reading a content creator's work, and if you see that that content is clearly biased towards something, then look at the hashtags and see if there is a word ad written there, hashtag ad. If it was self-sponsored and that person is waxing lyrical, I have nothing against it. But if it's a hashtag ad or a hashtag paid promotion, then, you know, take it with a lot of salt. And that's because that's how advertising works. That is exactly how advertising works. Advertising talks about the benefits and really does not want to talk about the problems. That's how it will always work. So if you are an audience, you need to adopt. You need to adapt yourself to interactiveness of content to understand how far will you allow the content creator to be trusted and how far you won't. This is why I have trust issues.
Unmesh, I would like to ask you one thing, which I found extremely interesting, and it will be a very nice thing if you can share your experience. That you are operating a page famously known as Bakura memes, and if we talk about the contents of your page, if we talk about the forms, I find that you work with very limited resources and yet you make some brilliant contents. So, and not only that, if we talk about the form, then you are, of course, you are catering to a Bengali audience. Often you are using the localized belief system or some kind of dialects used in Bakura and adjoining areas. So what actually gave you this confidence that you can actually address a greater audience with this kind of form and content? Because I think this is for something very, very striking or very, very interesting for all of us.
Mostly, yes, I make content from Bakura. Yes, I have very limited resources, but I guess it was always about, I loved my hometown a lot. I mean, I loved the people. So there are two ways you express things, either by love or by fear. So I guess the things which we express by love are, those often like goes to be a great. So I guess I love my hometown a lot, and I love the people, and I love writing characters. So I love creating characters, and I love writing scripts. So my characters in the sketches and in all the series which I have made are very local. I would say the world has become a global village. So everyone out there have access to, like, every audience, like suppose he's from a village or a city or another country, everyone has access to internet and everyone can view their content from their phones. So mostly we target people, Bengali audience mostly. So my language, it's not about the dialect and the language, which you didn't mention. The language is Bakhri. It's a Bengali language, and I think people from Kolkata, I would like to mention this, people from Kolkata or people from other cities mostly find this language very, it's very it's not very cool. So my language was always told that my language is not cool. So Bakri is not cool. So I thought that, yeah, I mean, I have known this language for 18 years. How can it not be cool? So I decided to write in this language only. And somehow I connected the audience, because a lot of people from Kolkata also, like, they are also now my audience. So yes, I guess content creation is about consistency, and I would like to say address that like in childhood we saw a movie called Tare Zameen Par, and the tagline was every child is special. I guess that is not true. You are not special. No one is special. Okay. If you are a content creator, you just have to be, and if you're talented, so the talent goes for 5%, and 95% is consistency. So you have to be regular. You have to show up. If you want one of your videos gets 1 million views, you just can't sit back and relax. You have to again come up with another content which is engaging and entertaining.
Ogni, I'll like to ask you that the content brings advertisements. Content actually makes the production, overall production. If we talk about the product, it makes the content. If the product content is good, then it can actually drag advertisements. Then do you really believe in this, or do you think that there are other factors as well, not only content?
It's actually very true. I believe in what Sir just said, that it's very true. Content brings a lot of good advertisements. And I think one of the prime examples of that is Unmesh himself. Because I have seen a lot of products getting advertised in the videos he makes. whether it's Jodu Babu, whether it's Khoton. I've seen a lot of products getting advertised, and trust me, at no point of time I ever felt that any of that advertisement was forced. It came very naturally. It flew very naturally into the line of content that he makes or the production he does. But that brings me to a more, grassroots question, that whether my content is good enough to attract a lot of advertisements. And this is a question we as content creators, we need to ask ourselves. Because, see, honestly, I believe content creators are no less than celebrities out here, right? Especially if you crack a viral formula, like Unmesh has cracked, like we proclaim to have cracked a viral formula in OMG. We still are in a daze. We still don't know what worked for the product or what is still working for the product. But, and then here comes my next point, and here comes the most important point, is that the responsibility of a content creator. I, standing in 2022, cannot take Omago and do the promotion of a brand which doesn't fit with the content that we do. Ma likes to have chanachur, Ma likes to have biscuits. That's all good. Probably Ma uses face cream in winter. That's all very good. But I would never be able to advertise a product or something which does not go with my line of content, because what Unmesh also does and what we also do, we have to understand this fact that we make essentially middle class content. We talk of middle class household. This is a story of a mom and a son and a father who comes frequently. That we live in a very middle class household, and here is one very important point as well. Me standing in a middle class household, doing such productions, because I always believe that you have to do content with which you personally relate. If you don't believe in football, don't ever say I love Messi. If you haven't followed Sunil Chhetri, you don't need to put it up on social media that was an outstanding international level free kick, which he just took. Makes no sense. And eventually, you'll get caught. Trust me. The social media audience is very intelligent and very smart. They will catch you off guard. So my audience knows that I am fond of cricket. My audience knows I am fond of Shomok. My audience knows that I am fond of Sunday Suspense, an audiobook that we have created over the years. It started way back. Now it's a household name. But here is also my thing, that I have to be responsible, one, towards the content I'm making, and I cannot advertise anything which does not, does not go with my line of content. I think that's essentially very important. We have got a lot of offers, let me tell you, for OMG, and that a lot of people are trying to advertise their things in that OMG. এই যে শোনো, তোমাকে বলছি, আমার উপর করে নাও, ফোনে কথা বললে কিন্তু বাকিরা সহ্য করবে না। So thank you so much. Yeah, that's about it.
So my question is, nowadays when I am trying to write something, I get confused. Like after some time, I get confused. अब क्या करें? अब ये खत्म कर लिया. अब क्या content बना सकते हैं? Right? Regarding advertisements. So it happens with you also, right? And you always need to write something. If something like that happens with you, what do you do?
Do something else that you love, because I think that break gives you a lot of perspective, and it just clears your mind. It just freshens up your mind to come back and give it a start. जब कोई कुछ हो नहीं रहा है ना, तब उसको थोड़े टाइम के लिए छोड़ देना चाहिए. फिर उसको, then you come back again to it. Trying to push it harder and harder might just not, work. At least for me, right? Like I just switch off completely. I'll go take a walk or I'm just going to watch something else or just read something, and that just fuels your mind more to find inspiration and then come back and take a stab at what you were doing again.
My question is to Agni Sen. Good afternoon, Agni sir. Just now you said that social media is a bubble and it can burst anytime. How much do you stand on this fact?
I completely stand on this fact. That, it's all virtual, right? So after a point of time, it has to break. I mean, it's the law of nature. You cannot do anything about it. It has to break at a certain point of time. But I do not see that possibility, at least in the next 10, 15 years. And I think social media will grow from strength to strength. And it will not only be a medium of fake news and propaganda and stuff. I think we'll see a lot of good work coming out from that field. Like we saw in the second wave of COVID. groups were created, and people connected on those groups, and a special mention for the Red Volunteers. They did some fabulous job. And apart from the Red Volunteers individually, also people took up that initiative to connect with them, and just by mere posting that I need AB positive blood in SSKM hospital on a page can garner you 5 donors. So social media has its good effects and its bad effects, but at the end of it, it's all virtual. It's all happening virtually. That's why it's very easy to abuse on social media. As Chandrilda says, I cannot see that person cannot attack me, so let me. So, जाके मेरा पूरा भड़ास निकाल दो उस आदमी पे. So just take that entire wrath out on that person on social media, right? So it's eventually virtual, and I hope that it grows from strength to strength. And you can use a knife to cut an apple, or to murder people. The choice is yours.
As always, iLEAD is one of the nicest places for me to come back to, especially because people love hearing about interesting new topics, and today's topic was extremely interesting. So I love talking about it. It was a great experience.
I had a very fine experience today, actually, in one word, because I think the way media world is changing, we also need to adopt, we also need to learn certain things, and of course, an institute like iLEAD, they are guiding the students, they're mentoring the students in this right path. That is definitely very satisfactory.
I think those are important for engineering students. If you want to be a media student, you are already a media student, you want to be in the media space, you don't need to do data analytics and data science and artificial intelligence, but you need to have an understanding of what these are and how these technologies are going to have an impact on the media landscape in the future, how it's going to have an impact on television, how it's going to have an impact on social media, how it's going to, you need to learn those things. You don't need to do a course on data analytics or data science. That's what I'm going to say.
Fascinating. It's always great to interact with young minds. It's always great to be among the students. বিশেষ করে আমরা যারা ওই ঠান্ডা ঘরে বসে বসে শো করে করে বুড়ো হয়ে যাই, তাদের মাঝে মধ্যে এরকম ইন্টারাকশনে আসা খুব প্রয়োজন। অ্যাকচুয়ালি জানা যায় যে young youth pulse ki.
And it was an amazing experience. The mentors were really engrossing.
শিক্ষিত এবং এতটা নলেজেবল মানুষজন আমাদের স্টুডেন্টদের সাথে নিজেদের এক্সপিরিয়েন্স এইভাবে শেয়ার করতে পারে, শুধুমাত্র তাদের নলেজ না, তাদের এতগুলো দিনের এতগুলো কিছু পেরিয়ে আসা, তাদের এত কিছু শেখা, সেই সবটা আমাদেরকে অনেকটা এনলাইটেন করেছে।